Welcome. My name's Randy Frid, and this is a course on enterprise architecture. We're going to be teaching you how to be the conductor of the orchestra, because that's basically what the enterprise architect is. The enterprise architect has to corral the subject matter experts that are members of your orchestra, decide on the music, the tempo, the key, and then guide a vast array of extremely intelligent people into creating some type of harmonic transformation for whatever organization that you're working for. And it may be more than one transformation, but at a bare minimum, we're always looking at transformation. The enterprise architect is relevant in government, private sector, not-for-profit, non-profit, religious organizations. It doesn't matter. The same principles, practices, procedures, tools, techniques, templates, they work in whatever organization you're required to go into and help out. And you have a vast array of stakeholders that need to be compartmentalized, and then you have to create deliverables that satisfy their need so that they can see whatever it is that this transformation is intending to do and understand what their role is in the transformation or how the transformation will impact them. And this goes on and on for transformation after transformation after transformation, because the world is always transforming, and so are these organizations that you will be working for. This is not a course where you will go out and learn DIN-DAF, DODAF, NAF, TOGAF. There's a huge body of knowledge out there and lots of course material to cover that. It's expected that you have some of that knowledge coming into this. Now, if you don't, we will cover some of the basics of that, but most of those frameworks deal at a certain level of the organization downwards, because they all morphed out of the world of technology and information management. So there's sort of a bottom-up approach to these different frameworks.
Hello, my name is John CIKM, and I'm sure many of you folks watching this video clip would know that I spent most of my professional life focused around the areas of enterprise architecture. I have to tell you, in the last year or so, I have learned enormous things and revolutionary kinds of things about the subjects I spent my life thinking about. My friend Sunil Dutt Jha of ICMG out of Bangalore has been using my framework ontological concepts in client environments now for some time, and what he has proved that you can use these concepts to solve general management problems in very short periods of time. In fact, he has changed my whole perception of my whole role in life. The general perception of enterprise architecture in the marketplace has been historically one of an IT model building exercise. I can see that dramatically has to change. The world has to see enterprise architecture as being a general management problem solving investment, not an IT model building exercise.
The Frid framework is a top-down approach, so it deals with governance. And we deal with organizational strategy and ensuring that all of the right parts and pieces that deal with organizational strategy are in place so that we can communicate that to the business layer that then operationalizes what we are trying to achieve in terms of transformation at a strategic layer. And then they in turn pass down their logical requirements to a physical layer where real things start to happen and people are touching equipment and configuring this and then deploying this and building this and writing code and building the building. But long before you go and start buying the lumber and building the building, you need a strategy. You need a model of a desired state, what you want to be when you grow up. And I'm talking about the organization you're dealing with, not you. You're the enterprise architect. You're trying to guide your organization by modeling what they think they want to be when they grow up, and then modeling where they are now, and then performing the delta analysis between where they are now and where they think they want to be, and then showing them graphically that transformation, that risk, those opportunities, and exposing all of the different areas that haven't been flushed out thoroughly enough yet. You're also providing traceability and a degree of open communications that is required so that auditors can do their job and they can assess whether or not governance has been effective, and we can visually trace audits back to where capital got expended and that capital expense flowed through to the ultimate outcomes that the organization is trying to achieve. So there's a lot of moving parts at the very top. And then you also are now starting to coordinate all the other architects that form the symphony so that you can develop that that score that's required to get from where you are now to where you want to be. It's tremendously bent towards communications and human interaction, and it's not about broadcasting information. It's about a collaboration between a lot of different performers, actors, that also include resources and capital and time. So there's a lot of different dimensions to what you need to orchestrate. But that's part of the fun. Now, not everybody will be a successful enterprise architect because they won't like it. But others will love it. So you won't really know until you're deep into the quagmire of whatever enterprise architecture is, and we will lead you along step by step so that you can figure out fairly quickly whether or not this is for you, or whether or not you would prefer to be a specialist in any one of the specific disciplines. And in other words, one of the members of the orchestra as opposed to the conductor. At the end of the day, there can only be one conductor. You can't have multiple conductors orchestrating a single song. It just doesn't work out. So If you think that you would like to be that enterprise architect, then we have a lot of information to give to you, and hopefully we'll learn something in a bi-directional exchange as well, because this is still a growing field. Historically, enterprise architecture has failed miserably because large organizations tried to create centers of expertise and put all of their architects in one big pile and say, okay, you guys are the experts of the entire organization, make it all happen. Well, that doesn't work, because architects are not the subject matter experts of the organization. They model things, and then they play the models back to the subject matter experts in the organization so that those people can see the vision and they can see where they are in the grand scheme of things and what their roles and responsibilities are and where the risks and opportunities are and what needs to be done. But as an enterprise architect, you should be very portable. I should be able to get up and walk into any type of organization without knowing a single thing about that organization and be able to apply my trade as an enterprise architect, because I rely on orchestrating subject matter experts. I don't need to be the subject matter expert. That's the whole secret behind enterprise architecture. So if that intrigues you, then welcome to the course. And if not, then there are lots of specialized courses out there that can get you to where you want to go. And we'll probably cross paths. Well, you're going to cross paths with enterprise architects wherever you go, because there's always going to be somebody in that role. And that's all it is a particular role with a particular set of responsibilities. Just like the application architect or the technology architect or the security architect or the privacy architect or the information architect or the just keep going and going and going. You know, you can subdivide and subdivide and sub. But at the end of the day, you take all of these multidisciplinary groups of people, and there will be at the top of the pile a single enterprise architect that is the champion of that particular transformation effort and is responsible for herding cats and communicating. And it's tremendously rewarding, but infinitely difficult. And it's constantly changing. So one has to eat humble pie and be prepared to be told they're wrong, and then change their perspective and move on, learn, and keep going. So anyway, I've given you kind of the downside to it, and the upside is it's a rewarding career that will last forever, because it deals with governance, human decision making. And as long as humans are making decisions, if there's somebody there that can help model that decision making process, then you'll be employed for the rest of your life. So it's a great career from that perspective. Hopefully we'll be able to add to that and make you even more successful. And we wish you all the best. Welcome to our program, and let it begin.